Hey guys, it's Phineas. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Alright, so today, first I want to talk about I'm a deleter. I'm minimalist in a lot of ways, and one of the things I do is I delete everything. I'll delete my email, I will delete my history on my computer. Every once in a while, I'll delete phone numbers and texts. It's just something I just do. I don't know why. I feel clean and cleansed when all that stuff is deleted. So today I was on eBay, and I don't use eBay a lot. I sold a couple things. I want to go on eBay and give good feedback. And I saw my purchase history, and it went back to 2017, 2018, and man, I went through that because I wanted to delete it. And the stuff that I spent money on is crazy. I always say don't buy nonsense. I bought so much nonsense. I'll give you some examples, but that's why I try not to come off as preachy, like, oh, don't buy nonsense, it's terrible. I bought so much nonsense. I'm a collector. I have that collector gene where, and I'm over it now. I think I'm past it and I won't do it again. But I think I've had 3 large toy collections in my life, very large. And we're talking about toys like, action figures and horror movie toys and that Batman's and those kind of toys, plastic garbage, really. But that stuff can get expensive. So my first toy collection was probably 30 years ago. I wish I had pictures of it. You walk into the bedroom, you couldn't see the walls and some of the ceiling. I had toys. It looked like a Toys R Us. I actually had pegboard and pegs and just so much money on that stuff. So I sold that 30 years ago. Some reason I got back into it again 20 years later. And I started buying horror movie toys because I like horror movies. Anyway, I used to really like them, but and that stuff gets expensive. So I bought a giant toy collection over time. Like so much it took over not only a room, it took over like other parts of the house. I had the big life-size ones you plug in and they move for Halloween. All the Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the big life-size ones, and they spilled out. I must have had 20 of the life-size ones plus a ton. I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on this stuff. Sold that collection. I said, all right, let me get, because the rest of my house would be minimalist. I always preach I hate garbage, I hate stuff, I hate tchotchkes, except my toy room, right? So then, I guess in 2016, 2017, 2018, I started collecting toys again. And you can see the stuff I bought on my eBay history. I'll show you a small clip of it here. Just check it out. Just a sample of what I bought. Okay, let's take a look of what I bought back in the day. Just a quick peruse. Alright, a Jaws picture, a metal sign, $19. Friday the 13th towels for decoration, $34. A knife thing for $12. I had collectible knives that horror movie actors signed. Crazy stuff I bought. A DVD, $10. I would never spend $10 on a DVD. Let's see what else. Some more DVDs. $5 there. $10 there. Another DVD for $6. I'd rather buy a ground and pound beef for $6. And what's funny is I don't own one of these things left. I have none of this stuff anymore. Now it started getting expensive. This doll here, $50, $48.95. January 2018. The money I wasted. Look at this. How much is this one? Okay, that's $102. I mean, what was I thinking? There's another one. $99 for a doll that sits on a shelf and gets dusty. I had a room full of this stuff. How much is that one? $93. HDMI cord. What's this toy here? $15. $71. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's old. There's no picture. But $29 for a doll. Another doll. $25. That's the kind of stuff I bought. And I bought a lot of it. I'm going to show you. I'm going to total up at the end and tell you how much I spent within those couple years there from my eBay purchase history. Ooh, it is bad. And what's funny is there's 12 pages of this stuff. Like, because I haven't bought in a long many years, but I never deleted all that stuff from before, and it was driving me crazy. I want to delete it. I don't all that stuff on those 12 pages. I don't even own anymore. So all those many hours, and see, I bought thousands. I'm going to give you the exact. I added it up, and this figure does not count. This is just eBay between those couple of years there on eBay. It doesn't count Amazon, Toys R Us, Walmart toys. There's a couple other online sites you could buy from. Each individual toy company has their own sites I bought from. Toy shows. But just in those 2 years, I spent $3,945. I don't have any more. And you know, when I sold the collections, overall you lose money. They didn't gain value, or even if they gained a little bit of value, the other half of the toys you bought didn't gain any value. Nobody wants half the toys you want. They want just certain ones. But you sell as a whole collection to get rid of it all, and you lose money overall. But that point in time in my life, I had my dog business, dog grooming, dog boarding, and doggy daycare. And that business got really big. And I did it out of my house because I don't like overhead. And it got only word of mouth, and then I advertised free on Craigslist. But it got very big. It made me miserable. It made me, and I love dogs and cats, but it became 7 days a week, night and day, they're here. And I was just miserable. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to move to Missouri. I wanted to leave all that behind, start a fresh new start. But all that misery was self-imposed. I could have cut my customers down 3/4 and paid my bills just fine. I did all that extra work and all that stress, and it wore me out to buy toys, to buy thousands of dollars worth of toys. I was miserable for years and years and years, and I kept buying toys. And we're not talking about Dollar Tree toys. We're talking about, you saw what I showed you, some are $100. The big life-size ones were hundreds of dollars, $500, $600, $700 each, $900 each. And I was miserable for stuff. Like I said, I could have simplified my life back then. I could have either done two things. I could have kept working like crazy and put that money aside. And at that time I had a mortgage. Pay the mortgage, pay debt. I'm sure I had debt. I don't remember that far back, but I bet you I did. And I know for a fact I didn't have any savings. I lived with very minimal in my account. Maybe $1,000 I'd keep my account. Then I paid my mortgage, which was $700 something, so it immediately knocked down to $300, and pay electric. That's how I lived for many years, all to buy this stuff that I don't even own anymore. I couldn't pick it out of a lineup. I don't care, but it made me miserable. It was all my own doing, because I could have lived simple by just cutting my customers down by 3/4. I could have had a nice little simple business. Could have had a few bucks in the bank, which I never had money in the bank. Because anytime I get a little extra money, I immediately buy a toy. So dumb. I'm telling you. That's why I try not to be too preachy. To don't buy nonsense. Because you see what I buy. And I've done it. I got that collector thing in me. That's why if you guys collect, I don't think you're bad with money if you collect. I've done it. But I was bad with money. But, so all that... A lot of times you don't have to, I say this a lot too, you don't have to make more money, which is nice too, but you got to spend less money. And collections got to go. For me anyway, they just consumed everything. Now, I'll never do that again. When I spend $100 on a toy, that's like, how long do I have to work to pay for this dopey toy that's going to sit on a shelf and get dusty? Because you never open the toys. They're collectible. You don't open them and play with them. I'm 103 years old. But $100, $200, and a bunch were $30, $50, $30, $50, like a ton of those. But that's a lot of money on something dumb that brought no value to my life. It just made me work. It made me work like crazy, and it made me hate the dog business so much because it was just my whole world. That when I moved to Missouri, I wasn't going to do it anymore because I just got burned out with it. Now, I do it here, but I have like 4 customers. I don't do it anymore like that. But I probably could have had well, maybe a little more than 4 customers back then. But I could have cut it way back then to just try to figure how much I need to pay my bills and put a few bucks aside for emergencies. But right now I have 4 customers. I do some food deliveries. I don't make hardly any money at all, but I'm comfortable and I'm not stressed like I was. And I was stressed for dumb stuff. And we all buy dumb stuff here and there. Look, that's a boat made out of Coke cans. Now someone's gonna say that's dumb, and it is dumb. So we all buy dumb stuff, but and even that cost me $10. Even that, I was like, man, what do I have to earn to make $10 to pay for that? And then tax. That was tax at the antique shop. So everything we buy, put a price on hours. How many hours? I mean, how many hours did I work to pay that thousands and thousands of dollars on eBay? And I didn't work. Like I didn't have fun. I was miserable those years, constantly working. Like I didn't like being home because my home was my job, and there was so many dogs everywhere, and I love dogs, but it burnt me out. And it wasn't to pay bills. I had enough to pay bills, and I could cut half those customers away and still pay my bills. It's different if we're struggling and it goes for something important. Like if I worked all those hours for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it was, and put all that money aside, that benefit me still today. But I worked all that for toys I don't even own. And as I'm going through my list on my purchase history on eBay, I'm seeing other stuff. It wasn't just toys, it was like a decoration, this here, that. I don't own none of that stuff. I can't remember where that stuff went. The one thing I saw that I bought in 2017 or 18 was a Jurassic Park mug. Big 3D mug. I still have. That's the one thing I still have, and I do love that mug. But I paid like $35 for that. Like today, I would never pay $35 for a mug. But since I own it, already have it, I like the mug. I'll keep it. But if it fell and broke, I'm not gonna go replace it with a $35 mug. Never would I do that, man. I see money totally different now. And now looking back, I can see all that work was to pay some bills. I mean, I had bills, so yeah, I had to work to pay bills. But I worked crazy, miserable for bills and mostly belongings, which I hate belongings. I hate them. And maybe that's why I hate them so bad, because I know what I spent all those years. And if you add all 3 toy collections in my life, I'm thinking it's 3. It could be, I think it's 3, maybe 4, but I think it's 3. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars over time. And then when I sold those collections, dang well I lost a bunch of money, which lost time to make that money. And the way the economy is now, I would never even like I gotta think real hard to spend $10 on that silly Coke can boat, because I'm like, man, that could buy two pounds of ground beef. Like I always try and think of, I want to buy something that benefits me, benefits the household, benefits my freezer, benefits my gas tank, benefits my savings account, benefits a repair. Not thousands and thousands of dollars. And everybody has different things. Like, it could be people eating out. I made a video, I don't know if I posted it yet by the time this is posted, where the average household spends $3,500 a year eating out. And like we said in that video, 2 years, that's $7,000. So, that's similar, just a different thing. So anytime you want to spend money, I always say this too, transfer it to time. Especially if you hate your job. I hated my last job. It got too much, and I was miserable every waking hour. And I didn't have to be. All self-imposed. All my fault. All because I wanted more stuff. So dumb. I think that's why I'm so, adamant about transferring what you buy into the time you spent working. Because, man, it's just not worth it. Like, I have that collecting gene on me. I still impulse buy sometimes at yard sales. Like, I'll come home. I'll go to yard sale, and granted, those are $1 purchases. Sometimes I won't even think about it. It's $1? Yeah, I want that. That's kind of cool. But then when I get here and I think about it, I'm like, why did I buy this? So stupid. But at least it was only $1. But I still struggle sometimes with buying dumb stuff. But Yeah, I just wanted to tell you my experience on eBay. It shocked me the stuff I bought, and because I haven't thought about that in a long time. But when it's right in front of your face of what all that money you spent, because now times are expensive. $100 for a doll would go a long way in my life now, where I could buy food, gas in the car, put it in the bank, put it toward a credit card or whatever. That's just rough to think about those times. Man, I wish I was how I am now, like when I was 20, because I wouldn't have bought none of that stuff. I wouldn't have bought no belongings. And I wasn't just an average buyer. I went nuts. In the collector world, I'm what you call a completist. So if there was 27 action figures in the Walking Dead set, I'm just making these numbers up. I couldn't buy just ones I want. I had to buy all 27 and complete the whole set. So it was just a onslaught. Money, 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 money. Meanwhile, I'm working horrible hours 24/7, and I hated every minute of it. All right. That wore me out. I didn't talk about that. All right. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you guys in the comments, and let me know what you think. And let me know. You guys collect anything? And if you collect anything, I don't think you're bad with money. You know, just like when we talk about paper towels or eating out. If you do those things, I don't think you're bad. Doesn't make you bad with money. My collection made me bad with money. That was me personally. That was terrible. But let me know if you guys collect, and let me know what you think of my colossal waste of money. Before you buy something, just think it over. Don't don't impulse buy. Like, think about it first. Put it in your shopping cart for 48 hours, sometimes a week, and that works to this day. Now I'm a little more logical, not always, and I'll think about things and I'll put it in my Amazon cart for a couple of days or even a week, and almost every time I just don't want it anymore. And even if an impulse buy at a garage sale, 9 times out of 10 I come home a couple days later, I'm like, oh, that was dumb. At least only $1, but still it's $1. It's dumb. Take your payment information out of Amazon, delete your address, delete your debit card, so that way when you go back to Amazon, you try to buy something, it's an extra step. You're like, screw it. It makes it kind of snaps you out of it. I don't want to get my credit card out. I'm not going to buy that. Just think before you buy anything. I'm going to do that. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. I keep going and going and going and going. But thank you so much for watching. I'll leave it there now, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.